I'd like to wish everybody a happy Labor Day weekend and put forth a little labor of love into this video that picks up where we left off on the study of the word cause and whether there's a just cause for divorce or whether divorce unto itself causes fornication. As you can see, I've pulled up the same word study that we've been studying out of the last two videos. The word logos, which is the word basically. I was trying to expand upon what this abbreviation means, which I was beginning to show comparisons between this sixth definition that brought forward the word affair and comparing it to this six-word meaning. As you can see from the top of the page here, I've Googled a uniform system of citations, 10th edition of, and then it is the essence of what's referred to as the Blue Book. It's a U.S. Code of Law on citations. And so I look to the abbreviation here, which is CF, and see that, well, essentially I just have to read it. CF is used to introduce any authority which supports a statement, conclusion, or opinion of law different from that in the text, but sufficiently analogous to lend some support to the text. CF is never used to support a statement of fact. CF, rather than accord, is appropriate whenever a factual distinction between the text and the authority is of legal significance or religious significance, that the proposition of law must be materially different. It's appropriate whenever the proposition supported by the authority is not relevant directly to that advanced by text, but only analogous to it. And essentially that means that, well, Thayer is the religious authority of interpretation, at least for our study. Concluding that something is different from that in the text, such as the analysis of whoredom or harlotry or affair. Different from that is sufficiently analogous, which lends support to the text. And analogous we'll look up here in a second. But again, it essentially says supported by the authority is not relevant directly to the advanced, to that advanced by text, but only analogous. That means that the word whoredom and harlotry and affair, as per his interpretation of affair, stand on their own, and the analogous does not effectuate, that is, take away or advance the text in any way, but is totally independent while leaving that in place and moving on to an analogous interpretation. This is Collins' dictionary on the word analogous, and in American English, analogous means having analogy. I've pulled up a a master's degree theological study out of Southeastern University on the subject of the metaphorical use of marriage in Scripture. It goes on to explain it is not uncommon for the marriage custom of the patriarchs to be depicted as analogies, which of course we'll study closer, that reflect the covenantal relationship with Yahweh. The Old Testament prophets cautioned Israel against committing infidelity toward Yahweh, who is portrayed as relentless suitors to a faithful husband. In other words, the infidelity is an, in a figurative sense versus a metaphoric sense versus an analogy. There's different words for similarities that describe this similar concept, and again, it even goes into a marriage promise between Israel and God as God's chosen people, and God's covenantal readiness is articulated in diverse ways and with many analogies. The metaphor of marriage is canonically and historically consistent, and therefore serves as a leading conceptual framework for understanding humanity's relationship with the divine. It all relates to the generalized concept of a marriage between God and man. The marriage being the essence of what we came to study in John 17 as the perfect one. And this is just a clarification that it extends beyond John 17 as a prayer, but it goes all the way back to deep into the Old Testament covenantal relationship, and it extends all the way to deep into judgment as Christ is judging, for one, calling you to himself as come to the marriage of the Lamb, and so those are all contexts to what will become a clarification of what the word fornication means, and idolatry and its relationship to sometimes expressing it in sexual terms, but really meaning that it's infidelity between Yahweh, between the called and Yahweh. So I'm not making stuff up on minimizing sexual by applying it to our relationship with God. So, is there a just cause for divorce? Well, haven't finished the fornication study. Really, the porneas have 4 Greek porneas, and Hebrew has 3, and so I'll be looking at all of them because the plurality says don't be wrong about plurality meaning. I had to address how extreme the figurative tends to be, and I'll point out, but I'll not ignore the sexual. In fact, pay close attention to it.